good afternoon, good morning, hello, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully that will work. Welcome to this session on how to use the library as distance learning students. My name's Kat Taylor, and with my colleague Hina, who is in the session as well, we're going to talk to you a little bit about what's available for you as distance learning students from the library. So there are some specific services and specific things for you to know about as distance learners. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to, in a couple of minutes, just give you a bit of an overview of the library services and library services for distance learners. But we don't want this to just be a kind of a session where we tell you what we think you might want to know. What we would really like you to do is to add any questions to the form that you've got the link in the chat, which Hina has just posted, or you've got the QR code on the slide to go to that. So any questions that you've got about the library, please do add those there. We've got that in the chat for you to go and look at, and we'll come back and have a look at the questions shortly. And I should say as well, if we can't immediately answer the questions, we will do our best to find the answers to them. We will also, because this is quite a short session, we will be sharing links to some of the things that we talk about so that you can go away and look at them after the session today. Okay, so what I'm going to do firstly is just give you a brief overview of some of the things that you might want to know about the library and tell you a little bit about what we can kind of support you with. So this breaks down really into three kind of key areas: sources, support, and spaces. So from the library, you can get access to a huge range of different resources. So whether that be books, ebooks, journal articles, other academic resources, you can get those from the library. Often the first time that you will be accessing resources from the library is through module reading lists. So when you get access to your Blackboard courses for the modules that you're studying at university, often you'll have a link through to the reading list there, and you'll be able to go through and see and get access to resources. Beyond that, on the library website, you'll find there's something called Library Search, and that's a really easy way to search across resources which are available to you as students at the University of Leicester. In terms of support, there's lots of support available for you from the library, and that goes from support with kind of using the library services, which you can get, and we'll share some links to how you get support from there, through to support from the Centre for Academic Achievement. So when you're going on to write work, when you're going on to do research, when you're going on to reference material, you can get support through the Centre for Academic Achievement. And that can be through getting in touch via email. You can book onto online courses, and you can book consultations as well. They can be in person, obviously, for distance learners. They can be online as well. So we can set up Teams appointments for you for academic support too. Spaces is the other thing we normally talk about when we talk about the library. Obviously, for distance learners, this is probably less relevant, but we do often meet with distance learners who are based not that far away from Leicester. So if that is you, you can access the library spaces if that is something that is helpful to you. You can find information on library staff opening times and building opening times on the website. I can see Hina has shared in the chat as well this getting started with the library link. So that's got a lot more detail on those things that I've just briefly mentioned there, and it's got links through to more information on those. Okay. As I said, we're going to talk about some of the services which are available from the library specifically for distance learners. And those kind of key services are the postal loans and the digitisation services. So it is the case that a lot of the resources that you're going to be using, that you need for your studies, that you need for your research, you're going to be able to access electronically online with your university username and password. But there may occasionally be times when you want to get access to resources which are available from the library, but which are print only resources. And that's where the postal loans and the digitisations can be useful. So, postal loans, as you might guess from the name. This is where, if we have got a book in print in the library, but we don't have it as an ebook, as a distance learner, you can log in and request that that book is posted to you. We will find it, post it out to you, and we will include a returns label as well for you to return it to us. So, really useful service if there are occasionally times when books are only available in print in the library. Digitisation. So this is, again, if there's a book that's available in print only, but there's a particular chapter that you wanted to get access to, what you can do is log in, request a digitisation. We will digitise that chapter and email it back to you. If you want to find out about either of those services, there is a page on the library website. Hina, you're ahead of me. It's amazing. So that link that Hina's just shared is the link that we've got on the screen here. And that is the page that goes through those distance learning services. Another service to mention that can be useful for distance learners who are studying elsewhere in the UK is the Sconnell Access Scheme. And this is essentially where, if you're registered as a student at Leicester, you may be able to register at a university library more local to you in the UK. If they are also members of the scheme, you may be able to go and use their study spaces as well. If you think that's something that could be relevant to you, have a look at the Sconnell Access web page. Have a look, you'll be able to see what university libraries are members of that. But that can be something that's useful if you are studying elsewhere in the UK and you want to see if there's kind of spaces that are available for you to study there. Okay, so I'm going to ask Hina, have we had any questions coming in yet?
Not yet, but I will post the link to the form again because I realize it might have disappeared with the other links I've put. So yeah, any questions, anything library related, pop it in the form and we'll do our best to answer it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Hina. So yeah, do add anything that you want to know about, anything that you're not sure about, to that form, and we will be returning to it again in a few minutes' time. But what I was going to go on to talk about next is, as I said, we didn't want this session to just be us telling you what we think you will want to know about the library when you're a new student at Leicester. So what we did, we asked some current students what they wished they'd known about the library when they first started. So we asked student library champions, about which more in a moment. And we asked student ambassadors that question. And some of the things that they said were, they wanted to know that students were allowed to borrow up to 40 books. So that is print books. You know, you can access ebooks as well. That can be in addition to that number. If you've got a lot of reading that you want to do, that is available. And as distance learners, you can request those as postal loans as well. They wanted new students to know about the one-to-one training that is available around academic skills, around referencing and citing software, and support available for when students were researching projects and dissertations. So as new students, that kind of project dissertation may be a little bit distant at the moment, but there is support available for that. I mentioned the Centre for Academic Achievement, and we will share a link through to the Centre for Academic Achievement pages as well. But that's where you can book onto online workshops. That's where you can access consultations in person or online through Teams with skills advisors, librarians, and maths and stats advisors as well. We had students who said that they wanted to know about the Library Champions scheme and the projects that were available to Library Champions when they started at the university. And again, we will share a link in the chat to tell you a little bit about the Library Champions scheme. Hina, my colleague who's in the session today, is the member of our team who manages that scheme. Is there anything you'd like to say, Hina, on the scheme?
Thanks, Kat. I will just briefly mention, so it is our student volunteer scheme, and we do run it online and face-to-face. So if you are kind of around on campus, you're welcome to join us in person, but we do try and duplicate the sessions where we can. So you can join us online, and then we try and record things as well. So if you're in a different time zone or you're working full time, we try and make it as accessible for students as much as possible. So we have a number of different projects we run. We will be publishing them on the web page next week, but I have put a link to the web page in the chat as well. So if you wanted to kind of have a look at things we've done previously and get a bit more information, do have a look on there.
Thank you, Hina. I thought as soon as you're here, it's good to have your overview on it. Thank you. And the final thing that students said that they wish they knew about as a new student at Leicester was how to use the IT services. So IT is a separate service within the university, but within the library there is an IT desk, and we will be able to share a link through to how you can get IT help for students in the chat as well. Okay, so shall we revisit the questions? Is there any that have come in at all, Hina?
Not yet.
No questions. Okay, not
No,
a problem.
but it just
Not a
means you're
problem.
doing such a great job, Kat,
Yeah.
at telling everyone about the library.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a question but you don't want to use the form, or you don't want it to be kind of answered in the recorded part of the session, we will be kind of switching the recording off in a little while, so we can take some more questions then as well. But what I was going to say today, that this is absolutely just an introductory session on what's available from the library. So there will be no doubt as you go through your studies, as you kind of progress, there will be other questions that you have. The link that we've got on the screen, the libraryhelp.le.ac.uk, that will take you through to a page where you've got the different contact details for the library, and you can access lots of FAQs, lots of information about the library services there as well. So that is a really good page to have a look at. But yeah, as I said, do get in touch with us as you go through your studies. Do have a look at the web pages that are available to support you as well. Okay, so we can come back. Charlotte, would you prefer to come back to questions after we finish the recording, and then we can talk through the other sessions as well?
If you want to sort of finish the slides,
Finish the slides. Yeah, absolutely.
It gives people a chance to type as well if they're still typing things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, just a promo for some of the other sessions that are coming up as part of Succeed at Leicester. So you can find more details about all of these on the le.ac.uk/study/succeed. So next week, the sessions on wellbeing, essays, and support for disabled students, among others. Also, more about the arrivals weekend information if you are travelling to Leicester at all, and that's on the study/welcome site. So that is that kind of covers the slides that we were going to look at in the session today. If anyone does have any questions, does want to use the chat and ask any questions, we'll stop the recording shortly